Steve, Bill, and Bob are going to go on a bicycle trip. We're all in our 70s, but we still think the boys will take a bicycle trip. And this is Mark, who recently hit on by a car on his bicycle. He was stopping by or riding by and stopped to show us his new bike. Marianne rode down from her home about 30 miles away from Tipton to join us just to ride back up the Tipton Mountain to her home. Marianne rides a bike like an animal. The first section of our ride is 54.77 miles, and we gain 4,677 feet of elevation. You can see from this graph that we have two major climbs and lots of little bumps in between from our ride from Tipton to Parker Dam State Park.
Take off, Bill.
Okay. Okay, we'll see you. Hey, we'll see you, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Okay, see you guys.
Yep.
Be safe, see you, Bob.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Lou.
Another one's coming. Car back.
After a long, hard, hot day, we've arrived at Parker Dam State Park, and Bill is just getting off his bicycle, and we're ready to set up tents. Our tent sites were just across the lane from the children's area at Parker Dam State Park. On leg 2 from Parker Dam to Sinnemahoning, we're traveling 45.54 miles and gaining 2,037 feet in elevation. You can see from this elevation chart that we have a climb right in the beginning, and then it's generally downhill with a lot of little bumps until we get near the end to Sinnemahoning, where we have a gradual incline and then a very sharp elevation change right at the end. Now we're leaving Parker Dam and headed to Sinnemahoning. Right at the end of this clip, notice the direction that the flag is pointing. We enjoy it.
Look at that flag up there though, guys.
It's not all pavement on our rides. Here we are on a gravel forest road headed to a highway, Highway 555. Shortly after getting back on the highway, at Mix Run, Pennsylvania, we found a sign showing where Tom Mix was born. I saw where Tom Mix had died when I was riding my bicycle from Phoenix to Tucson in Arizona. So I've now seen where both Tom Mix was born and where Tom Mix actually had his automobile accident and perished. We're on Highway 555 now, near Peppermill Run. The weather forecast at Sinnemahoning was severe thunderstorms and rain all night and into the next morning. So luckily we found a cabin and were able to rent it.
This is up at Sinnemahoning Lakeview Motel, which used to be. Now they put cabins here instead. So Dick, maybe me, Dick, and Wayne could stay here sometime fishing, up here biking on a 5-day bike tour. Here we come in. This is the cabin that we stayed at last night.
On the third leg of our run, we're doing 40.82 miles and gaining 1,332 feet from Sinnemahoning to Heiner Run State Park. The elevation chart shows that we're going mostly downhill with some big bumps in there though, until the very end where we have a uphill bike ride again.
I'll hit the broadside. The bus looks like a doe.
The scenery in this area is just incredibly beautiful. But as you'll see in the next slide, some of the towns, we're going to look at Renovo, are fairly sad. Lots of closed businesses, lots of boarded up houses. On this housing complex, I counted 9 satellite dishes, some of them just bent over and unusable. Here is our campsite at Heiner Run, and following this slide, some footage again from Bill explaining the campsite.
Here we are at Heiner State Park. Come in the shallows. There's Steve back, as typical. He's always looking away. There's Bob. There's Steve. There he is. Yeah, now there's clothesline hanging up. I think you dry everything out. Coming around, we got Bob. There's Bob's tent. There's Bob's bike. Give me not too many people at the campground today. Here we go. Here comes Bill's tent in. Still loading it. Coming around. Nice little trout stream down there. There's Steve's tent. And that's where the bears come in, right in that path. We put Steve right there. Yeah. And then back to my bike.
Heiner Run doesn't have a lake or a beach, but it has a beautiful swimming pool. Here is the fourth leg, 37.74 miles. And the elevation chart showing relatively flat with some bumps. Getting ready to leave Heiner Run.
beautiful, beautiful.
Here we're riding into the town of Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. A very prosperous looking town. We are at our final campsite at Bald Eagle State Park, where I'm cooking a hot dog over a fire for supper. The last ride is just back home, so back to my house. Leaving Bald Eagle on a foggy morning, heading home, ending the trip. My friends and their shadows part ways with me as we reach our intersection.